Hello, my good students and viewers at home. I welcome you all to today's online teaching of St. Charles College. I am one of your biology teachers. The topic we are discussing today is effects of agricultural activities on ecological system. Okay, let us look at the specific objectives of this lesson. At least by the time we finish, if you are very attentive, you'll be able to list the agricultural activities. 2, define some of those activities. 3, state the positive and negative effects of all those activities. Then 4th one, you'll be able to mention different farming methods. And then 5th, you can briefly explain some of those methods, and then you'll be able to state the advantages and disadvantages of all those methods. All right? Okay, effects of agricultural activities on ecological system. Now, there are certain practices the farmer carried out on the piece of land before ever he starts planting his crops. And these activities are what we call agricultural activities or practices. Now, each and every one of these practices have some consequences on the ecological system. That is, both the living plants and animals you have in the environment. Is that okay? These activities include bush clearing. Now, in bush clearing, it involves total clearing and removal of all vegetation from the land, thereby leaving the land bare of vegetation. These have effect on ecological system. Now, if you look at the pictures before you, you will see the first picture where the tractor is clearing the ground, removing all the vegetation and leaving the land bare. Then the second one is manual clearing. You see men cutting the bushes in order to leave the land bare. So this clearing has effect on ecological system. First, it will remove the vegetative cover of the land. And when the vegetative cover is removed, then you see that the soil is exposed to erosion. Also, it is exposed to leaching of the nutrients the plants will have used in order to produce their food. They will continue to percolate inside the soil. Then, the soil is exposed to direct heat of the sun, thereby increasing the temperature of the soil, thereby killing microorganisms under the soil. Is that clear? Then the second one is bush burning. After cutting the vegetation, they are burned, they are set on fire. Now this one also have effects. Even when the fire is burning, it can even enter people's farmland or even people's houses, thereby burning down things. Now the effects they have in the environment is that, one, they destroy the organic matter, they pollute the environment with smoke and carbon dioxide. Now they also kill animals and microorganisms. You know, there are some animals that move slowly. Can you give me an example? Yes, something like snail, earthworm, millipede, they will be born there. Then those that are fast will run. Then also this destroys the natural habitat of animals. And when their habitat is destroyed, they will not come to your houses to live. They will just move and look for forests where they will stay. Then it can cause extinction of some animals. There are some species that are very few. Then if it happens that it is there that you burn the bushes, then they are no more. It will be just a closed chapter for that species of living things. Then we look at effects of pesticides and herbicides. These ones are the chemicals we use on our crops in order to kill the pests that are destroying the crops and also the weeds that we don't want. Is that clear? But these things we do now, this activity now do have some negative effects. At least we did not select the plants or the animals we will spray it on. So it will just kill both the valuable crops and valuable animals. Then it can cause it can cause water pollution, because when it is washed into the water bodies, they will kill aquatic life there. Then some other effects include when you apply them excessively, they can destroy the crops. They can even become health hazard for us that are eating them, because when these plants absorb these things and then use them to produce their food, those things will stay in their body. When we eat it, they will continue to accumulate in our own body until they get to the level when they will start causing us trouble. They can even attack our internal organs like the liver, the kidney, and so on. They can even kill some of the useful insects like pollinating insects. That is some insects like butterfly, they can all be killed by these pesticides. Okay, now let us look at tillage. Tillage is defined as breaking down or breaking of soil or digging the soil in order to prepare it for planting. You know that not after clearing the bushes and burning the bushes, you don't just take your plant and then put it on that land like that. You have to till it in order to soften it, in order to loosen it. So that is what tillage is all about. Now let us look at the effects. When you till the ground, it loosens the soil so that the young roots will find it easy to sprout and grow. And when you are tilling, you are mixing the soil with the humus. And then also, when you are tilling the soil, you are incorporating air into the soil. By doing it, when you bring it up, the air will enter. So it increases the air content of the soil. Then, when you are tilling the soil is being exposed to erosion and leaching. Also, some of the organisms that live inside the soil, you bring them out on the surface and even you kill some. When they come to the surface, their predators will now eat them, like the earthworm will be eaten by the birds. Then, tillage, when you continue to do it continuously, it makes the soil to lose its fertility. And then, vegetation there will be poor. All right? Then we look at another one, fertilizer. We know that fertilizer is the chemical we apply on the soil in order to make that soil to have more nutrients, to increase the fertility of that soil so that it will bring out higher yield. So it is being done in good faith. You can see the fertilizer, you can see the hand applying it. Okay, the effect of that fertilizer include the fertilizer increases the nutrient content of the soil. So it increases the fertility of the soil. The fertilizer also increases the population of microorganisms in the soil because they will see abundant food and they will be taking and then growing. Then it also stimulates vegetative growth. Vegetation, many plants will be growing and then taking their own part of the fertilizer and growing up. Then the productive capacity of the soil is being enhanced or increased. But on the other side, when you apply much of this fertilizer, the plant will absorb them in their body. Then when we eat them, it will accumulate until they get to the level that they will become health hazard for us. They will start causing problems to us. And excessive application of it will make the soil to be acidic. Is that clear? All right. Then overgrazing. This one is when you take animals, so many of them, onto a piece of land, onto a pasture, that the number that is above the carrying capacity of that land. You know, in the village setting, you can take your sheep out and tie it somewhere so that it will eat from the pasture. Then after, you take them inside. But this one is a different case. You see the herdsmen carrying lots of this cow, then allowing them to graze on the farmland. By the time they are out of that farmland, you just pity the farmer that owns the land, because everything will be down and they will eat it up, and then the remaining ones, they will use their hooves to trample them so that they are destroyed. The effects they have on the environment is overgrazing removes the vegetative cover of the soil, and when the vegetative cover of the soil is removed, that soil is prone to erosion and leaching. Then, on a good side, as they are moving about, as they are grazing, they are dropping their dungs. Those dungs they drop will now help to enrich the soil. So their dung increases the fertility of the soil. And also, as they are feeding, they are eating also the weeds. So they help the farmer to eradicate the weeds on the farmland, right? Now look at the effects now. So you see the cow, you see them grazing. Is that clear to you? Okay. Then deforestation. This one is continuous removal of forest trees, either by bush burning or by indiscriminate cutting of the trees. If you look at the picture there, you will see the trees are being cut down and the land is left bare. So this one also have effects. Their effects include the wild animal, the wildlife that live inside that forest are being reduced, because when you cut down their habitation, when you cut it down, they will move out. They will move out and look for another habitat. Then, when you cut the trees like this, it exposes the land to erosion, it exposes them to leaching, and then the humus content of the soil is reduced, because there is no more leaf falls on that land. Then even the activities of the microbes are reduced. Is that clear to you? Okay, we look at the effects of different farming on the ecological system. Different types of farming, the effects they have on the ecological system. So these ones are different methods the farmer uses in order to raise the crop. We have shifting cultivation. Here, the farmer makes use of a piece of land. He will cultivate it for 1 or 2 years, then leave it to fallow or rest. Then move on to another land and plant there. Later, they will return to that first one. Advantages. By leaving the land to rest like that, it helps to restore the soil nutrients. It also adds to fertility. It helps to increase the fertility of the soil. Is that clear? Even it helps to control erosion, because those vegetation will not allow erosion to occur on that soil. Then disadvantages here is that you cannot practice this type on the places where you have scarcity of land. It's only those people that have plenty of land will practice this type. And then after allowing the place to go fallow like that, after the following period, the vegetation has grown so much that you need labor in order to cut them down. And even after cutting them, you will burn them. During the burning and this cutting, you can destroy some of the useful crops there. And then during the burning period, so much smoke and carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere. Now, crop rotation. This one is where the farmer plants different crops on the same piece of land year after year. But the farmer follows a definite order in order to maintain the fertility of the soil. Advantages here is that the plot of land is continuously used where you have scarcity of land. Then secondly, if you do a good selection, it improves the fertility of the soil. So the farmer, what he does here is he will plant deep-rooted plants this year. Then next year he follows it up with shallow-rooted ones in order to maximize the nutrients. So number 3, there is maximum utilization of plant nutrients and the available land. Then it helps to reduce the outbreak of pests and diseases. All right? Then we look at the disadvantages. When the farmer is practicing this type, he is bound to use fertilizer. And when he is using fertilizer, it will increase the cost of production. Then when you have continuous tillage, because the farmer is farming every year, this continuous tillage helps to destroy both the structure and the texture of the soil so that it becomes prone to erosion. Okay? Then mixed cropping. Here the farmer selects some crops, about 2 or 3 of them, and then grow them on the same piece of land at the same time. So the advantages in this one is that the soil nutrients are fully utilized by both the shallow-rooted and the deep-rooted ones. Then secondly, it reduces the spread of both the pests and diseases and then the weeds. Then the third one is that it yields a higher crop. That is, the yield used to be high. Then on the negative side, you have the possibility of having competition, because all those plants will be scrambling for mineral salts, and that will lead to depletion of the nutrients. Then, because these plants are not maturing at the same time, there are some that will mature within 3 months, like the maize. While you are trying to harvest the early maturers, you might damage or destroy the late maturers. These are the disadvantages then. Then pastoral farming. As you can see in the picture here, this one involves rearing of livestock. It can be cattle, it can be sheep, it can be goats. It is of 2 forms. We have the nomadic type of herding. This one, the farmer takes the animal around looking for food and water. Then we have the ranching one. This one, the farmer have the animals in a confined area, like fenced area. And then within there, it will contain the pastures and the legumes the animals will be feeding on. Now, the advantages of this pastoral farming is that they provide animal protein. All the meats we used to eat, they come from them. Then, to keep animals require lesser labor. The labor requirement here is less, because you just need the people that will be taking care of the animal, giving them food, water, and no more. Then disadvantage. This one can lead to overgrazing. When they are grazing on the same place, on this pasture, they can overgraze it and they will now expose the land. And when they expose the land, it can lead to desertification, that is the desert will now be coming in, desert encroachment. You are now turning the vegetative area into desert area. Then it can be exposed to erosion. All right. Okay, as we have come to the end of this lesson, at least we have today learned different practices the farmer use in order to raise good crops, and then different farming methods they also use. Now, I want you to write this, answer these questions, write them and submit them to my contacts. The first one is list 5 agricultural activities. 2, define deforestation, overgrazing, and tillage. The third one, state 2 positive and 2 negative effects of deforestation, burning, and overgrazing. Then the fourth one, mention 2 farming methods. The fifth, briefly explain the 2 of them. Then the final one, state 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages of the 2 methods you have mentioned. Answer the questions and submit them to my WhatsApp number 080-639-63478. I repeat, 080-639-63478. Students, I'm sure you enjoyed the lesson. See you next week. Continue keeping safe. Thanks for listening. Bye.